welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faye. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out today's video. I really do hope that you enjoy it and find it helpful. If you do, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. It'll add you to my fam here on YouTube, and be sure you turn on your notifications so that you're always notified whenever I upload a future video. So for today's video, I wanted to do something oily skin themed because when I did my Best of Beauty series, I incorporated a lot of products specific to oily skin. If you're new to my channel, I have very, very oily skin, not combo. Very oily, like whole situation is just oily, with the exception of like under my eyes. It is pretty dry under there, but everywhere else is oily all day long. So a lot of you guys really enjoyed that I incorporated a lot more or like a couple of videos specific to products that work for my oily skin. So I decided that I want to try to do more of that for you guys because the oily skin struggle is a very unique one and we have to stick together. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a little trick that I like to do almost pretty much every day to keep my oils at bay, keep my skin looking flawless, and just hold it together, girl. Keep it locked, keep it tight, and just have everything looking flawless all day long. So that little technique is applying powder before foundation, and this is a technique that I have been doing for months. Every single time that I do my makeup, I do this technique, and I feel like I have really perfected it to the best way to do it, the best products to use, and to really get you that bulletproof, sweat-proof, oil-proof makeup that is going to last all day and is not going to have you looking like an oil slick within about an hour, which used to be my struggle. So that is what I'm going to be sharing with you guys in today's video. So if you would like to see my technique on how to apply powder before foundation to control your oily skin, then please keep watching. Alright guys, so I've got you zoomed in up close and personal, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I work in applying powder to my skin before foundation to help to control the oils on my face. So I did go ahead and prime my skin just to get that out of the way. If you have watched my videos before, you guys probably already know that I started out with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. I sprayed that all over my entire face. And then I used the Black Radiance True Complexion HD Primer to smooth out my skin and fill in my pores. And then on top of that, I patted on some of the Urban Decay De-Slick Complexion Primer. And this is really good for shine and oil control. So those are the primers that I used. Next up, I'm going to do a little bit of color correcting. I don't do this every day, but when I want my complexion to be flawless, I will go in and do a little bit of color correcting. So for that, to start, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Color Correcting Fluid. This one is in the shade Peach. And I'm actually going to apply this underneath my eyes and around my nose and anywhere where I have a little bit of redness. And then after that, I'm also going to add in a little bit of the MAC Prep and Prime in the shade Peach Luster on any of the dark spots that I have on my face that I want to conceal. So I'm going to start off with my fingers and just blend out this orange corrector first. And then with my Beauty Blender, I'm going to go in and blend out the peach color. Now peach and orange are both going to be really good for canceling out darkness as well as redness on darker complexions. So I like to use the peach underneath my eyes because it's not as intense as the orange. And then the orange I like to use on my face just because the pigmentation of the dark spots on my face is a little bit, or are a little bit deeper than it is underneath my eyes. So I like to use orange in those spaces or in those areas. So now that I've got all of that blended out, I'm going to go in with the Cover FX Matte setting powder. Now you can really use any setting powder that you prefer. I like this one because these actually come in different shades, so you can pick the one that fits best with your complexion. And it's also a matte setting powder, obviously, which is what I'm going for since I'm trying to control oil. And I also really like this powder as well because I find that it does lay nicely underneath my foundation. So it comes with a sifter, but I went ahead and took mine out just because I'm almost out of this powder. So I went ahead and took it out once I got kind of low, and I just prefer to be able to dip my brush or sponge or whatever directly into the powder as opposed to having to use a sifter. So this is what it looks like. I have mine in the shade medium, so if you're close to my complexion, medium is the shade that I have. And I'm going to use this sponge from EcoTools, I think is where I got this from. I like it because it has a flat edge, so I can really press the powder directly onto my face wherever it is that I want it to go. So I'm just going to dip it directly into the powder and then press it onto my skin. And I have pretty dry under eyes, so I'm going to try to avoid like right in my under eye area and mostly just focus this on my skin, on those areas where I tend to get the most oily. Concentrating it there, and then with whatever is left on the sponge, I'll bring it down to these lower areas of my face. Okay, so I've got the powder applied, and as you can see, I don't have any big chunks or blobs or anything of powder. It's pretty evenly distributed, blended out. I just pressed it in, as you guys saw, with this sponge. I know in some videos I've seen where people have, like, they leave a pretty thick layer of powder on their face before they go in with foundation. I have found that that is not the best way for me personally and for my skin to do this technique. I prefer to just really press that powder and get a nice thin even layer of powder on my skin, and then if there's any areas where I want a little bit extra that tend to get a little bit more oily, I'll just go over those areas and add an extra layer, but I don't have any excess powder sitting on top of my skin, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to go in with the MAC Studio Fix Fluid. This one is in the shade NC45. And I'm just going to apply my foundation as normal right on top of the powder. Okay, so my foundation is applied. This is what it's looking like. Very flawless and very, very, very matte. If you have dry or normal skin, or if you're just somebody that doesn't like a super matte complexion or super matte, like your face feeling super matte, I would not recommend this technique because I did go in, of course, with the powder, and then went on top of that with a foundation that is supposed to be for long wear and for controlling oil. So if you are someone that isn't about that super matte life, then you may not like the way that your skin feels, but I personally really like the way that it feels because I know as the day goes on, my oils will start to come through and I will naturally start to get a little bit dewy. So I prefer to start the day as matte as possible. And then as the day goes on and my oils start to come through, this will still keep me pretty much matte for the most part. But I'll start to get a little bit more dewy per se. Not really, but just a little bit more as my oils start to come through. So here's a closer look, just up close and personal, of the way that my skin looks. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of my face, and then I will be back to show you how everything lays on top of the foundation once I have everything else applied. Alright guys, so I have everything on my face, my full look, all my products and everything are on. I've combed my hair down, got a new, jacket on. I'm in my final form, okay? So I wanted to go ahead and zoom you guys, keep you zoomed in so that you can see the way that all the products are laying on my face. Everything looks very flawless. All of the products went onto my skin really nicely. They always do when I do this technique. And I normally will set my entire face after I apply my foundation with a setting powder and I realized that I completely forgot to do that step when I did my foundation. I like went back in, I got a little distracted, so I went back in and just started applying the rest of my face products and didn't realize until after I was completely done applying all of my makeup that I forgot to set my face. But I have to say that it looks really good. Like, I mean, I never don't set my entire face just because I am oily, so I like to really make sure that I have everything, you know, set and good to go, locked and loaded for the day. But I did film a couple other videos before I came back on to finish up this one, and it's still looking good. Like, normally I would kind of start to already have some oils trying to peek through, but yeah, for the most part it's looking really good. I did also add an extra step that I don't normally do, and I sprayed my beauty blender with my setting spray. So today I used the Too Faced Peach Mist Mattifying Setting Spray. After my entire face was done, I sprayed my face like normal, and then I sprayed my beauty blender and then patted it over the areas of my face that I get the most oily. So right here on my cheeks, down the center of my nose, and on my forehead. And I don't know if that has anything to do with why my face is looking so flawless and staying so matte. It may. But yeah, that was like an extra little thing that I tried. I just decided to do it at the last minute. I don't normally do that, but it may be something that I have to add to my routine because it seems to be holding up my foundation and everything really nicely. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys back out, and then we'll go ahead and finish up with my final thoughts on this technique. Alright guys, so that is going to bring me to the end of this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful. Again, I wish I could remember the person that requested that I do this video, but if you're watching, this one is for you. I really hope that you enjoyed it and found it helpful, like I said. Again, this is a technique that has legit changed my makeup game, like changed it and just took me to a whole nother level, being someone that has very, very oily skin. So I highly recommend this technique. If you haven't tried it out, I highly recommend that you try it out. Let me know down below if you're already using this technique, what you like about it. If there's a different way that you do it, let me know down below how it is that you do it and how it works for you. Or if you just have any questions in general about it, or if you're planning on trying it out, let me know that down below in the comments as well. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Thank you so much again for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you very soon in my next one. Bye.